the selling point out here?
Oh. No, I actually used to live on Route 66. I lived out in Rancho Cucamonga, and that was like one of the big things, right? Oh, on historic Route 66.
I mean, were you wealthy enough to have a color TV?
I was actually. I had a CRT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Island. Hex is not the only one with the I'm rich license plate, apparently. Look at.
No, but now everyone's like pretty jealous. Like it's becoming more and more difficult to find the CRT TVs if you want to, play some old fighting games.
By old fighting games, you mean Smash and also Smash?
I didn't want to bring up the brand, but yeah.
There's only one, Jamerson. There's only one. It's the only community that does that. Give our viewers some respect. In any case, speaking of respect, this is something here that eUnited likes running a lot. Not every team will run a Sombra on first for Route 66, but eUnited is a team that likes doing it, and Unfixed has certainly had the practice doing it as of late.
Yeah, so we'll see if Expert are actually going to be up to snuff for this, trying to deal with that Sombra defense, because it's not a solo support, right? It's basically just a secondary DPS, Unfixed on it. We'll see if Expert can deal with it. Decon, he went for that Sonic Arrow, didn't spot anything out, so now the payload is making headway here, as Expert are going for that triple DPS comp. Now Cruz immediately forced out a mech, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, Cruz dove a little bit too deep there, immediately finding himself as Baby D.Va, the de-evolution that probably don't want in most cases. But eUnited's still able to recover pretty well. Cruz isn't even out of it here just yet. He is building up to get a new mech, and they're able to disengage well, and that's something eUnited has been doing better as of late. They get out of losing fights reasonably well. They're still in a rough position here because they're down the D.Va, but look at Morte just barely able to get out of dodge, gets out of the way, heals back up, and look at Unfixed. The EMP is up, and eUnited can turn the tables here with a well-placed EMP.
Yeah, he's able to make it over to his hacked health pack. No kills going over quite yet. I mean, the only casualty was the mech early on for Cruz, but he's gotten it back now. But he's a little far away from his self-destruct, but it's not the most impactful ultimate. There we go, EMP. That's the impactful ultimate coming on out, and immediately focus down Vaneless, and that's what we're talking about when you're playing the Sombra.
I mean, that's where, Vaneless has been at both ends of this equation. I should look at that and go, that's how it works, because that was lights out and then some. School's in session, courtesy of Unfixed.
Apagando Las Luces coming out there. So, during all that, though, Team Expert were able to build up some ultimates, and this time, though, Unfixed, it's going to be a difficult time for him so far. He's only at 25% towards his ultimate. We'll see if Volatile is going to go for the health packs. Instead, no, he just goes down to Vaneless.
This has been a rough game for Volatile in general. Expert has been doing well at mitigating his presence overall, but now they're going in even deeper. The Transcendence is out. The Blade was already used, didn't really get much, and eUnited again, able to deal with that pretty well with the Transcendence of their own. And Expert, even when they invest ultimates in here, Jamerson, they're not coming up with the results that they otherwise would have liked.
Now that's a good result. Taking out Boombox is going to be Cranks coming on in. Pulse Bomb came out, didn't quite connect. Volatile is going to be forced to recall here as Sherrick picks up the kill onto Cranks.
Indeed, and now eUnited still coming back in. Volatile back into the fight, being a pest into the back, and the EMP is up again. I don't know if he really wants to use it. He's down 3 people, and no, he accepts his death to envision the one true Tracer god of this round so far, because he has been crunching eUnited in the back, and finally the results pay off.
Yeah, even though he was staggered there at the end, Sombra one of the fastest people to be able to get back onto the point, so even though his team will be fighting on their 5v6, he'll be able to get there relatively shortly.
Indeed, and now, look at Unfixed. I don't think there's going to be any chill in this. He's going right over the top, waiting for the EMP, and Expert actually does a good job of making it less than an ideal EMP. They back off, they use line of sight against him, and it means that he has to hold it. But the difference here is that they had to give up a lot of ground to eUnited. eUnited's totally okay with this, and now Unfixed is going to look for this into the back.
Yeah,
goodbye,
there it is.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do, right? Rinse and repeat. Find the Zenyatta, EMP him, take him out with just even a quarter of a clip there, but Craig's bringing it back. Sherrick goes down. There's a minute remaining for Team Expert to get this checkpoint.
I mean, they're in a pretty good spot here, in large part due to Cranks just going off like crazy into the back. He has a Dragon Blade to finish it off, and eUnited, like the world's peskiest cockroach right now, not actually giving up. Extermination methods have somewhat failed, but perhaps that Bug Bomb is finally working out as Expert slowly able to bring this in, and that just feels sad. I'm sorry, Boombox. I'm sorry you had to give your dude your life for your country there.
All right, so now Expert in actually a really great position because Unfixed finally swapping off that Sombra. He doesn't like it for this second point. So Expert moving forward. They've got 3 ultimates. They've almost got a Transcendence, and that's going to buy time for Next to get his Tactical Visor.
Indeed, and now for Expert, here's just the question is, how much can they take advantage of this momentum-based opportunity? They do have the ultimates needed to make this fight good. The payload, though, is really far back, so eUnited has time to set up, and eUnited's been very good about engages with less ultimates. Sound Barrier alone could be enough.
Yeah, we saw there Balataya actually just contesting the payload for now. Sound Barrier does come out on the side of eUnited and Team Expert, but it looks like eUnited are coming up ahead as Unfixed finds the kill onto Decod. Now Transcendence does come out from Expert into this fight.
The Transcendence was trying to save Decod and failed, so the Transcendence was thrown after nothing. eUnited swarming on all sides, and the Helix rocket sealing the doom of Expert. That's tough. Expert, there's no other way of saying it, but they have been outplayed on this engagement here. eUnited might be diving a little bit too deep and throwing some good money after Path, but that was tough. That should have been a better fight for Expert, and it wasn't because of how eUnited positioned.
Yeah, it's a lot of Balataya's Tracer play here, just opening it up, drawing Expert back as he does fall down. But eUnited have so many ultimates to work with. They can fight with this man disadvantage, but Balataya should be back there shortly.
I mean, actually, Boombox's ultimate is always up. It's just a secondary fire. The Transcendence is an afterthought. But if he does wish to pass it to the Iris, he does have it here, and eUnited just going to dive in. Off of Shriek's Primal Rage, and there's a Transcendence to seal the deal. He's going to be healing up eUnited as they dive in, and Expert pretty much in tatters here. Not really an easy way to counter-engage, and they don't. They simply die.
Yep, and so now, Team Expert, they've got a minute, 15 seconds left on the clock as the blade does come out from Crakes, but he's dropped down low. Doesn't get anything of it. It's going to be a 2-for-2 exchange. Primal Rage comes out on the side of Expert also.
I'm just imagining Cranks like the world's biggest backpack on his shoulders, like barely able to stand, because when Expert has looked good right now, it has been Cranks finding ways in, but it's just not enough. eUnited has too many threats into the back where even if Cranks kills 2, kills 3, you need more contribution from your other players, like, for example, Nex right now has been relatively quiet, to put it over the top and get the full fight that you need.
Oh, nice pulse bomb coming out from Balataya. He's even got half the clip onto Decod to take him out. They're hunting for just a little bit more, just forcing them back, and now it's coming down to the wire. Expert with 30 seconds on the clock, ZP.
Indeed, and you want to talk about 1-2 combo with the cam work here? We have seen Vision have moments of brilliance. If you can just combine that at the same time where Cranks has a good engage, and if they can get the engage on the same page, and we got the Fameless under pressure, he might have to pop the Transcendence as a result, but no, he's able to save it. They deal with Shriek's dive, and now the 6v5. Here comes the Transcendence, and they're on the way.
Yeah, it was a little too late to save Decod once again, though. Nex is holding on to that tactical visor for now. Excuse me, the Sound Barrier just came out too late. Talent wasn't able to connect with it now. Unfixed, though, pushes forward. He's got that tactical visor on the hunt. That's going to be a triple kill for him, and he might have just cleaned them all up.
Well, the Sound Barrier here just to make sure, or just victory beats, whatever it may be. eUnited having cause to celebrate here because this has been a dominant defense here at Route 66. They're in the middle of second, and Expert running out of time, running out of options. They're sacrificing their lives to the payload god here, Jamerson, but nothing is coming of it. And eUnited will hold on here on second.
And Bazooka Puppies right now just sitting at home with the biggest grin on their face. Just 2 points away from moving on to top 8.
Is there any Twitch emote that personifies a puppy looking really smug? Like, can puppies look smug, first of all? Can you pass that level of judgment on a puppy?
Isn't there a Franker Smug?
Maybe. I don't know, but if you can imagine a smug-looking puppy right now, that's Bazooka Puppies, because they got me feeling good about this.
Maybe like the speedrunning community has one. They have a lot of Frankers, right? But now, Team Expert, they were only able to get it through that first checkpoint, 46 meters, eUnited. Oh, they're so close from just walking away with the first. I mean, they've already got the first seed, but just walking away with that huge map win advantage. And man, things are looking so good for them. They're gelling so well. Everyone has been standing out on their roster throughout this series, ZP.
It's been very good for eUnited, although, again, I'm just going to note that I'm not sure eUnited has really had to play phenomenally well here. I mean, they've played solid. The problem is that Team Expert has been making mistake after mistake that makes things easier for eUnited. And just to give an example in that last fight, there was actually 2 examples over it where you see the Winston about to die, and then you have the Transcendence come in to save Decod, and it's late. Decod falls in 2 situations where he otherwise could have lived because whatever communication or awareness between the Zenyatta and Winston just wasn't there. You cannot make mistakes of that caliber against a team like eUnited because they're just going to play their game, and they're probably going to win because they don't make those mistakes in turn.
Yeah, and same thing happened with Talaz, right? He had the sound barrier, but he just wasn't able to get it on the ground to keep himself alive. There were just 2 opportunities where Expert could have just taken the momentum back in that fight, but it came down to split-second decision-making there. And so now, eUnited, they're going to go for a triple DPS. It looks like unfixed currently on Hanzo, but he's probably just going to go for the Sonic once again.
I'd have more respect for Expert right now if they went Bastion.
You just want to see more Bastion. We got a little bit of it unfixed. He's on Reaper, though. Does that say you?
Not after Bastion, though. Bastion, it's one of those things where maybe it would have sated me earlier in the day, but unfortunately, I need a robot in my life. That's just where my standards are now.
We got Boombox, though, and he's been a hell of a player for eUnited so far. Volatile dropping really low, unfixed, though, just building up his ultimate on these tanks.
And the thing about eUnited is that this is solid pressure. They're winning the poke war because they're pushing Expert back. And at some point, Expert's gonna have to commit to a dive here, and I don't think they feel comfortable enough to do it. Now, that said, eUnited, they go a little bit too deep. They get punished, and now Expert can counter back in. So Sharik dips his toe into the pond a little bit too deeply, and yet, you see eUnited able to back up. It's a good disengage that we've seen from them all day long, and now Cruz is out for mischief into the back.
Now, Volatile getting the kill onto Envision, and now they're on the hunt for more. Volatile, DPS do it, but no, it's going to be Baneless coming in. He has gone onto that Ana, so the Nano Boost does come out for Team Expert. Unfixed, though, keeping himself healthy. That's the new buff coming out for him.
Well, he's keeping himself healthy, and he's ready to spin right in. He's been playing some Diablo 3. He wants to do his Barbarian impression. He goes to the back line. Here's what Unfixed does here as he's looking for his opportunity, but now his team's dying around him, and not able to really get the better of that Winston without the help from Volatile.
Yeah, Unfixed will finally go down here at Team Expert, just winning off of that sound barrier. So great play coming out from them, and they do need to contest every single meter of this payload.
I will note that things are actually looking a little bit better for Expert here, where sure, you might go, eUnited has plenty of time, but how much time do they really have? It's 2 minutes left. It's about a minute per push here. It takes a while around the bend, and they're going up against ult advantage for Team Expert, so eUnited is much more in the hot seat here than they might otherwise realize. Cruz is gonna have to go in here, no barrier, just blade, and immediately takes Vaneless's head right off. My goodness.
That's a support for support. It's going to be Cranks coming in with 2 quick kills. Cruz finally does answer on back. There's the self-destruct, and next is going to connect onto Sharik.
I gotta say right now, and it pains me to say it, but I'm not really convinced with how Unfix has been playing the Reaper here. I don't think it's been great for eUnited, and I think now they're down to a minute 40. Maybe they swap it off. Maybe they don't because they don't really have a lot of pressure to win this game. It's much more for Team Expert. But the Reaper really hasn't done as much as they would like here early on, and I don't know, they're just running out of time.
But once again, it's not eUnited. You had mentioned this, right? Not in the hot seat. I think you just kind of look at this as like a scrim situation. I mean, they are in a tournament setting here as Unfixed. He's got that Death Blossom, but the Primal Rage comes out from Decod. He's going to disengage for now as they push forward with that sound barrier.
This is eUnited's window if they had one. They need to get kills off the sound barrier, and so far it's working out well. They isolate the supports in the back. Both supports are down, and now this is where you clean up Expert. Their source of healing cut off, and they go in even deeper, and this should allow eUnited to get some momentum. Might not give them the point outright, but it's going to be very dicey for Expert to come back in here. They don't have a sound barrier to use. Maybe they nano boost one of the tanks, but they could be walking into a death pit if they're not careful about a re-engage here should they go for it.
No, they just need to wait on. I mean, I feel like they're going to go for it, actually. They come on in. They've got the nano boost out. But already, Cruz and Sharik taking out Cranks and Talaz, and now this looks real bad for the side of Team Expert here. They committed that nano boost, and they could have just waited.
That was not good on many levels. Or, if you look at it from eUnited's side, eUnited throws the best welcoming parties. In a sense.
Your parties, ZP. Don't ever invite me to one of yours. I am absolutely terrified.
Oh, actually, we're holding one in the studio before you can even leave. Good luck, Jamerson. Good
Just lock the doors. You're not leaving.
The
You are
door's
part of this
actually
party.
already locked.
It
The
is.
party festivities are underway. But yeah, that was difficult for Expert. They took a gamble and it blew up in their faces, and now they don't have much room to work with here. It's the middle of second, and eUnited is applying the pressure.
Oh, Unfixed does go down as the sound barrier was used from Team Expert to go for that re-engage. They pick up the kill onto Shark, and now we're seeing eUnited backing off. They still have 2 minutes, and all they really need to do is push it about 20 more meters.
It's on the razor's edge now for Team Expert. They do have ways of getting through this dilemma, but they have to win about 3 fights in a row. So even if they crush eUnited using the advantage they have right now, they still have to have a plan in reserve for 2 more fights. Meanwhile, eUnited, I mean, you take a look here, yes, Cranks has been great, but he also could be running right into a Transcendence. He's shown respect for it in the past, but under the situation, I could see him throwing the blade right into the Transcendence, so he has to maintain the discipline he showed earlier on Eichenwald.
Wolfsbaum not connecting from Envision here, but he is getting some poke off right now. But as the Winston jumps in, he immediately gets focused down. Unfixed takes him out. Here comes the Transcendence from Boombox.
The Transcendence comes out, and here's the problem for Cranks. He's had patience, but his team is dying all around him. Now, it's up to a hero Dragon Blade. The blade is out, but he has no life. The sound barrier saving his team. He is zoned out and taken out as eUnited just a little bit away from the yellow box of victory. And I gotta tell you right now, Jamerson, I think I hear the bazooka puppy cheers from here, because if eUnited pushes through, it will be Team Expert falling here at Contenders.
Yeah, we did have the nano boost onto Decod again, but Boombox will clean them up. That Orb of Discord just doing so much work, and that's going to be eUnited walking away with the 4-0 victory and just shutting out Team Expert. Now they are knocked out of the tournament. It's going to be Bazooka Puppies moving on in Group A.
You hear the sound of bazookas in the background? Victory shots. I mean, also there might be death and carnage coming out as a result, but for now, Bazooka Puppies can be happy because eUnited has done them a tremendous favor and a 4-0 trouncing of Team Expert.
I mean, as this series go on, it went less from Monka S to Frank Your Z, right? And so, man, eUnited just doing the Bazooka Puppies a huge favor there, keeping them in this tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, you had said that maybe eUnited wasn't playing in their top form. I disagree. I mean, they were looking unstoppable, and it was partially because Expert was foibling quite a bit. But, I mean, eUnited was disengaging properly. They were using their ultimates properly, and Expert they just couldn't get it together.
My point there is that eUnited looked very good, but I don't think they were particularly tested here by Expert because they were making basic mistakes that eUnited was able to capitalize on. So it was not taking anything away from eUnited. It's simply just noting that Expert wasn't exactly pushing to limit here with the mistakes they were making. Simple as that.
On the other side of things, that is going to mark the end of this event for Team Expert. I